Hello, and welcome back to episode 14 of Ink and Lore. And we are super pumped because we are back to the OG5, and we're super excited to have Lexy joining us again. So, just to reintroduce ourselves, I'm one of the hosts. I'm Miranda, and then we have Lexy. Say hi.
Hi, I'm glad to be back.
And then we have Kate. Hello. Soon to be published. And then we have Erin.
Hello.
And we have Cassie. And we are all fantasy authors writing our books for funsies and for therapeutic reasons and all kinds of things. And we are in various stages of said process of whether we are writing, we're in like act 1, act 2 of writing our books. Some of us are finishing up books, some of us are nearly published, super close, Kate. And then I have already published. I'm writing my second book. Kate's already kind of dabbling in second book. So we're all in different spaces, but we just yap about our writing journey and then also like bookish things. So this episode topic brought to you by the fabulous Erin, who we have dubbed now the sage of this podcast. She comes up with all the topics. So every topic that you see about the podcast is from Erin's brain. This topic is going to be about essentially we're going to dive into, believe it or not, there are parts of the writing process, sections, we'll say, of our books that we may not actually enjoy writing, but we know maybe are a necessary evil or are not maybe our strong suit or what have you. And then there are other sections or parts of our books, like for me anyway, and I'm sure this is for everyone else, you've had a specific scene that you've dreamed about or had in your brain from day one. And it's like getting there and then getting to write that scene. And when you finally do write that scene, it's like the angels come down, glory descends. So I think it's fun to kind of talk about good and the bad, because I think sometimes, especially if you follow indie authors or any kind of authors on social media, it can be very deceiving that it's just all rainbows and butterflies all the time. And the reality is it is not. So let's start with Cassie, because you are on my left. So Cassie, why don't you tell us let's start with what you have not thoroughly enjoyed writing. What's been like your most painful or your least favorite thing to write in your story? And then what is the scene that you like love?
So I feel like it's very similar. I'll just get into it and then you guys can decide. So
Yeah.
I am like battle scenes and stuff like that. I have a really hard time of like, okay, what is this motion? How do you say this motion? And how do you say this motion? And like the battle scenes, for whatever reason, something like that just irritates me because I can't get it into words correctly. And so that is
Mm.
probably the worst part for me. I'm okay with dialogue. I'm okay with like romance scenes and stuff like that. But it's like that battle scene, I can't wrap my brain around yet. So I'm like, most of the time I'll just go through and I'll put insert battle scene here or something
Yeah.
later because I'm like,
Mhm.
I don't have the mental capacity for that right now. So that's the one that
That
I'm
hard.
like, not my favorite. And I feel like I need more practice on. But along with that, my favorite scenes so far that I've wrote are dark scenes, which I know isn't a normal. I kind of wonder if am I okay thinking that? Like we were talking about this before and it was like, okay, what scene, is your favorite? And I'm like, I know exactly. And I'm like, that's probably not the scene that I should have immediately thought of because it was and bad. It's not enjoyable, but whenever I reread it and whenever I was writing it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so good. Like I just and so I feel like those dark scenes, maybe there is a little bit of action in there, but it's not
Mhm.
crazy battle scenes. But yeah, the dark stuff is apparently what I didn't know that I was good at, but apparently I am, and I'm okay with
I love that.
Yeah, maybe it's your like subconscious, like
that.
here's a little healing journey or what have you to help you out
Worries,
here.
though. It kind of worries me, but
It's okay. Yeah, no, I love that. And I think that like the fact that that's something that you enjoy writing. So then what ends up happening, I mean, I might be wrong, but I feel like those scenes just are so much more impactful too when you read them. And like I can pick out even like popular authors. Well, I'll get to a part and I can tell that this was something that they either enjoyed or they were like really wanting to hit home, and
Mhm.
you can, like, pick up on that, like, the vibes
Yeah.
of it, and I feel like that's neat that you're drawing attention to that specific part of your book. Now, is that, like, early on, or did you have to wait a hot minute to get to that part?
Well, my first chapter is pretty dark. It's not the darkest, but it's pretty dark. And then later on, like there's like a couple cute chapters and a couple of, just mystery intrigue. And then it's like the dark scene. I don't know if you guys have read that scene yet, but um so it wasn't fresh, but it got dark pretty decently fast in the book, but not very beginning. So
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're well, you kinda set the tone with your first chapter too, so it
Mhm.
would be, like, so misplaced to wait so long to,
Right.
like, have that vibe kinda come back.
Yeah.
So, I
Yeah.
like that there's a break because it's, like, you meet the characters more and things like that, but then it's, like, it just kind of, like, it's heavy. It's
Yeah.
in a
Mhm.
good
Right.
way.
No, and I've, like, reread that chapter, and I'm like, "Dang, that was good." I mean, it's bad, but it's
I love that.
It's yeah, did a good
Something
job writing it.
so so dark and so, like, bad that it's just, like, chef's
Mhm.
kiss.
So bad it's good.
Reading, yeah. It's
Yeah.
just peak reading.
Peak reading, exactly. That's where you're, like, half teary-eyed, and you're, like, sweating a little bit, reading it.
Mhm.
That's the good stuff. Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah, I love that. So,
Yeah.
Lexi, I know that Lexi has been, like, speed writing
Hammering.
basically here, rejoining the forces. So love that you have that spark again. So with that being said, what do you feel like is either the most difficult or the part that you didn't really want to write or didn't like writing, and then the part that you are like, this was it. This is what I wrote this book for.
Yeah. I have a really hard time with transition scenes, like after something really big happens, like a battle scene or like, a sexy scene or something. And then it's just kind of like, okay, where do we go
Thanks.
from here?
Mhm.
That's always kind of hard for me because you always want to keep the plot moving forward, but also you need to give the book a chance to breathe, like readers a chance to like, okay, like collect themselves after something big happened. So, I posted that like SpongeBob meme the other day where it's the essay that he's trying to write and he's just like and it's like really beautiful and you're just kind of like staring at the page and that's all you have. So I feel like
Yep.
that after like a big scene. But I really love writing like anything to do with like romantic tension and like, the whole enemies to lovers bit. But I also really love when you are just like randomly like either it's the middle of the night or you're at the grocery store or something. I love it when you think of like an Easter egg that you forgot to put in or like a plot hole and you're like, I know exactly how to fix it. And you go back and you're like kicking your feet because you're like, yes, I'm just so excited that I like put that in there and you're excited to like put it out in the world and have people like read it and stuff. I love
Yeah.
that.
That is the best feeling.
I love that stuff.
So did you have a specific scene that you, like, dreamed about from day one that you were like, maybe that your whole book was focused around or something that you just knew you were gonna include? Have you had that? And then if you have you been able to write that yet, or is that still, like, pending?
Well, my overall like concept for my book I've had for a really long time. So basically there's like a portal at the bottom of the sea, like in the seabed called the Rift. And I got the idea from Pacific Rim of all things
I
of,
love
the aliens come out of this. I need to write a book like this. Like what fantasy book, they always come from the sky or whatever. And I'm like, I love that. So basically I've just had that for a really long time and everything kind of like built around it.
I love that. That's
Awesome.
really cool. It also
I love
reminds me of isn't there do y'all watch Stranger Things? Are we Stranger Things?
Yeah.
There's an episode where there's a portal to
Mm.
the upside down, and it's
Yeah.
under the water.
Yep.
It
Yes,
reminds
it's
me of
like
that
that.
too. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to watch, like, at least the last episode of the last
I
season
know.
before
So
I
I
don't
have to,
remember
like
anything that
I have
happened.
to
hardly
gear up.
remember anything, and I'm like, I gotta recap this. My husband, he hasn't seen the whole last season at all, and he's like, "Do we have enough time?" I'm like,
Needs to get on that.
"Do you realize you've got 30 minutes?" I was like I felt like that meme. I was like, "Do you
You've
realize
had
you have
2
30 minutes?"
kids since the last.
Oh my gosh.
You have to take off the whole week. I don't know what you're doing, but you're gonna have to just binge watch this. Anyway, okay. So, Erin, what do you
Yes.
feel like has been maybe your least favorite? And then what scene or concept have you you love and have you been able to write it yet?
So my least favorite, I'm finding, and it's only my least favorite because of how difficult it is. And I know that that will get easier. So I'm excited for that. But body work, like the training scenes specifically, like training maneuvers, kind of like Cassie was saying, like, I don't know, I don't have like a background in like Kung
Martial
Fu,
arts.
but like, I don't know what the things are called. I'm like, is this an arm bar? Like, what am I, so to have to like describe that. And especially because my book is romantasy, the training scenes are like between the two of them, basically.
Mhm.
So I have to like pack the punch of like having everybody know like what I'm talking about and also bring in the banter and the yearning and like the, touches.
Mhm.
And so it's like, it's so difficult for me. And I find myself writing it like 5 times, like adding stuff, adding more movement. My go-to is to like rely on the dialogue. So I've really had to like step back and add a lot more than I thought I originally was going to need. And then it makes it a little bit more well-rounded. I get it. I finally get it to a place where I'm happy with it, but it's a little bit like pulling teeth. It's hard. So I'm hoping that gets easier. And I'm hoping to like when the stakes are a little bit higher, and I have like more characters involved, like in the actual like labyrinth, that I can, that'll help me because I have so many different players. But when it's just the two of them, it's so good, but so hard.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the scene that I like am looking forward to writing because I haven't gotten there yet. Well, there's one that I'm very excited to write, but I can't talk about it. So I'll go my second favorite. But I have a scene in the book, and it kind of comes in like the all is lost part of the story. So basically, like shit's gonna hit the fan, and she is gonna be at the brink of, losing everything. And she's gonna be visited by an ancestor. And that has been like one of the core scenes that I've visualized this entire time. I know we've kind of talked about this before, but my grandmother, who's no longer alive, is the reason I'm writing this book. It's kind of a cool story, too. Like, my brother got me an empty journal for Christmas, and I don't journal. Like, I do not, like, up until April of this year, like, I wasn't writing anything. And so, um, I thought it was kind of a weird gift. I was like, this doesn't really have to do with me. Like, why did he get it? I thought he was kind of being lazy. I thought he just like saw it and grabbed it.
Oh.
And so I like called him on Christmas and to thank him for it. And he was like, well, it's not like totally from me. He goes, I'm pretty sure grandma told me to get it for you. And I was like, what? And I'm super woo woo and like, I'll talk about that stuff all day long, but my brother's not really. So like, it was kind of random. And so basically like it sat on my coffee table for 4 months and I was like, what does this mean? Like what does she want to tell me? And what's funny is the front of the journal is like exactly the vibe of my book. And so when I was like brainstorming with my friend, and I was like, oh yeah, I have this note in my phone. I think it's kind of this vibe. I went to like grab a piece of paper and I like see the journal on my coffee table. And I just like, that's when everything just kind of exploded. Cause I was like, it's the exact vibe. And I was trying to like be all, like read into it. And I'm like, no, it's literally a blank book. Like, here you go. Write it.
You are, Erin.
I'm like, what's the symbolism? But yeah, so that's kind of cool. So I really want to like work her in
That's so cool.
as kind of an ode to her. So I'm really excited for that.
I love that. That's
That
so
makes me
cool.
wanna
I don't
write.
think I knew that that was the reason for that particular
Yeah, I didn't either.
scene in
Yeah.
the book. So I love that.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
and she was
well,
an artist
little
and
teary over
what's that?
here. Well, I know.
I know. Teary-eyed over here.
Well, and she
Like,
she was a literal fairy. Like she just was so creative. And it was such a bummer because I wasn't really like in that, phase of my life, like when she was here. And so it's kind of a bummer, but I feel like I'm like, oh, we're like making up for it now. So she just, she was like super creative. She was an artist and her artist name was Aragella, which I don't think you get more fantasy sounding than that. So we're keeping her name.
I love it.
I
Love
love
it.
that. Oh my gosh, that's so awesome.
So awesome.
Such
That's
a cool
so
story.
cool.
Mhm.
What did
I
you
love
call her?
it.
Did you call her like grandma, or what was your?
I called her grandma. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that.
She's like my little guardian up there because she saved me one time from carbon monoxide poisoning too.
Oh my god.
Okay, you gotta tell us that
Yeah.
story.
Insane. Oh my gosh. Well, that's gonna be a story we're gonna need to hear.
She's like, you got to stay alive because you got to write this book.
I literally gave you a journal to put in it.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to write this. I
Yeah.
love that. Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
That's
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's neat.
That's neat too. You're kind of putting her like in this eternal place too
Yes.
in your book, which I think is
Yeah.
really that's really cool. That's neat.
gosh.
Okay.
Oh my
Well,
God.
Kate, nearly published Kate, that's your new nickname, almost published Kate, who is releasing her debut fantasy novel in January, January
Yes.
23rd.
Yes, which I found out is not found out, but I knew the date sounded familiar. It's like a family member's birthday in my family.
That's my
That's
husband's birthday too.
I know it's your husband's birthday.
It's
It's
meant to
my
be.
It's my Aunt
It's meant to
Jackie's
be.
birthday too.
So many birthdays. I love it. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. And
Yeah.
you are just received your cover art, which it is beautiful, beautiful, and it's so exciting. It's all coming together.
I know, feels pretty real.
Now that you have completed and edited and all the things, what would you say out of your first book? What would you say was the most difficult or unpleasant part to write? And then what was your favorite scene or concept from that book? Which the book title is
Born of Shadow and Flame. So the hardest scene for me to write is at the very, very end. It's like quite literally the second to last scene in the whole entire book. And I can't really like say what happens because I don't think even you guys know
No,
what
don't.
occurs in that scene. And when
course.
when I tell you it's very, very traumatic what happens, like it was very difficult for me to write about it. And I would literally be writing the scene and I would have to stop because I would be like sobbing. So it's
Jeez, what are we in for? We're all our readers. Gosh.
so when you get to like, I don't know, chapter
Bring tissues.
Yeah.
37 or actually it might be 36, something really unfortunate occurs and my main character loses somebody very important to her.
If you kill my book boyfriend, I'm gonna be so mad at you.
No,
Not
nothing like that. Nothing like that. But the person she loses is very important in the story. So when I was writing that, I was picturing myself losing that person, and it was very, very difficult to write. Because when I write these scenes, the way I do them is I like do a lot of visualization and I put myself in the scene and like what I'm smelling, what I'm feeling, what I'm seeing. And to be seeing and feeling all of that was very, very, very tough to write. So that was not fun for me, but it made for a really good ending to the book. So I suffered so you
You
all.
sacrificed so that we could have
She suffered so we could all suffer.
Emotionally traumatized.
so we can be emotionally destroyed. She's
I'm really sorry ahead of time.
Oh.
It's terrible.
truly terrible.
But it needed to happen. It was like, in Throne of Glass when Nehemia is
It's a catalyst moment.
Yeah.
sorry, Cassi. There needed to be a catalyst
Earmuffs.
for more to happen. Like my main character needed to be kind of like pick up, you need to be more than just this lowborn, slummy chick fighting people in the streets. Like you gotta like get your act together and kind of be more. So the way I chose to do that is very traumatic. However, it makes for a great story. So
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
sorry.
I am too. I'm so pumped to get that arc. I'm so pumped.
Oh,
So
I'm so
that is
good.
your most emotionally devastating and difficult
Yes.
scene. for
Not
you to
because
write.
I couldn't write it, but because
It was just really hard.
difficult to
Yeah.
describe.
And then what would you say is
Sorry
your
to put a damper on this.
I was Okay. So okay, so that was your most emotionally devastating, like difficult
Mhm.
emotionally to write. What would
Yes.
you say is like difficulty as far as like maybe you don't want to write it or it's like pain, like, like you're sighing while you're writing it? Was there any moment like that for you?
I think that I also suck at like the fight. I'm not like great at making fight scenes realistic. Like my very first chapter takes place where my main character is fighting somebody, and I just remember my editor's words in the comment section throughout that first chapter. She's literally like, it's like boom, boom, like comment, basically saying like, this is not possible. This is unrealistic. If you're saying it like this, she would be on top of his head. This is unrealistic. You need to change this. And I'm like, wow, I'm really bad at realistic fighting because, like Erin said,
I
I don't.
didn't even notice. I thought it was great.
I didn't
I thought it was
too.
great. I was there for the vibes. I was like, slay! Like, let's
I'm like, lion.
It. The walks with it.
Yeah, I had to tweak some things to make it a little more realistic,
Yeah.
but that is definitely not easy for me. Or like when you're fighting, like in my book, you have like elemental powers
Mhm.
and fighting, like all I see is Avatar: The Last Airbender in my head.
Mhm.
Like,
Mm.
like those kind of like movements, and I had to like figure out a different way to describe it so I wasn't, plagiarizing Avatar.
We're gonna look like Dragon
So that
Ball
was
Z
hard.
or something.
Yeah, like, like I don't know. If anybody's not watching my video, they won't understand what I'm talking about. But the hand motions, bending is hard to portray when you don't want to copy somebody else's stuff.
Yeah, I love that. And then what was a scene that you like looked forward to writing or really enjoyed writing it?
I had that scene like in my head before I even wrote the whole entire book. I don't know if any of you guys did. Like I
Mhm.
built the whole book off the scene.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's when I won't really like say too much, but all is lost. It's like kind of like Erin said, but all is lost in a way where she needs to step up and be a leader, and nobody is backing her right now, and she needs to like gain people's trust. Like in my head, I think of like I love scenes in movies where you're like rallying the
Mhm.
people, and people like the scene in Hunger Games when they're just like
Yeah.
oh my god, my heart flutters every single time. I just love I like love that stuff. I geek out for it. So like I
Mhm.
have a scene in there where like people are standing with her,
Oh.
and like one by one like people are getting up, and like it's somebody that she did something for like 10 chapters ago, and this person and that person and this person, and it just give me
Oh,
chills.
I love that.
Oh,
Ooh, I got goosies.
I just love it. And they call her by her prophesized name and all this stuff, and it's like, we stand with you.
I love
Oh,
that.
I love
That's
that.
a good moment.
I can't wait
That
for you
is
guys to read it.
I'm so excited. It's literally like what I'm doing is I'm pacing what I'm currently reading so that it will line up like exactly whatever like
Mhm.
arcs are going to drop for you. I'm holding space. I'm holding space for when that happens cuz
I know.
I
I'm
like
Hold
ready.
space for her because she's thick.
I
She's a
know.
big girl.
Girl, I will have her read. It'll be so lickety split. I will have that. The fact that it's gonna be like on an ebook, like I'm strapped. I will
Yep.
be that ready
Yay.
ready to read that thing.
I can't.
You'll have the fastest Goodreads review you've ever in life. Oh my gosh, I love it. Speaking of like side note, speaking of Hunger Games, did y'all see the trailer for Sunrise on the Reaping? Have you seen
Well, the guy that plays the main character, I love him. I love that actor.
I do too. I do
I
too.
love
Well, I had kind of sort of started reading Sunrise on the Reaping, but I like put it aside, read some other stuff. So I picked it back up and I'm like locked in.
Is he
And I
good?
forgot
I didn't read it
how
yet.
much I love Suzanne Collins.
The books
Peak
are amazing.
peak dystopian books. And I'm sucked in. I'm like, this is gonna be so fabulous. I am gonna go to movie theater and see this because and
I
that's a huge thing. I don't go to movie theaters. Like I
Mm-mm.
am like, no, I like wait
None of
till
the
love
I'm gonna
going
stay
to
in the
the
comfort of my home instead of someone else's bodily fluids on some.
Well, and there are noises. Why? Who eats like that?
I know.
Apparently everybody.
I know. Or
popcorn
so speaking of, I went and saw Wicked on
How was it?
I will go see that.
Friday night. I went, my sister-in-law wanted me to go with her, and I was like, okay, fine, I'll go with you. So I went with her, and it was good. It was not as good, in my opinion, as the first one.
As the first one.
Just not as good, but it was good. And I kid you not, there's like people like maybe 3 seats over from us, one chewing so loudly that I could hear it hit their ilium, like from esophagus down to ilium. I could hear it go down their entire digestive system. And then the man that was in that group fell asleep. And was
Snored.
snoring.
The man.
I kid you not. And he's reclined. It was one of those like recliner, like the recliners. And he's like, he is.
Oh my God.
No.
And I'm like, could you not do that at home?
Right.
Like, you had to come here? Like,
You know
what?
what I'm surprised they haven't figured out yet? Like something where you can bring your own noise canceling headphones and connect to the
And
sound.
hook them up. That would be genius.
And you could
Yes.
change
That would be
the
so
volume.
nice.
You can turn the volume
You
down.
guys, I'm so old. I have to wear my loops in a movie theater because it's way
It was
too loud.
very
Too
loud.
loud.
And then
They're
it was
lousy.
like, I didn't realize it was the 3D. So I had to wear those glasses, which that kind of like messes with me a little bit. I can't really do that very much. Like it was a
No,
little,
I can't either.
so it was
Right.
it was accumulation of like sticky floor,
Chewing snores.
chewing so loudly that I can just hear it going all the way, like all nutrients being sucked out in his terminal ileum. And then I hear the other dude beside him
Grandpa.
just snoring. And I'm like, I came
Yeah.
here, why?
I don't
What
pay
about
money to be annoyed.
Like if
it's
I want
so-
to
I wanna, like, the thing is, too, is like,
Yeah,
if you
right.
wait like a month, you can watch it from the comfort of your pajamas on your couch, like live, like just stream it. Like, yeah. Anyway, I digress. So I will go see. I 100% would go see Sunrise on the Reaping. Like, just go look at the trailer.
When does it come out? Do we know?
I'll look it up.
March. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Fact check me. I can't remember. It's next year. Sometime next
November
year.
20th, 2026.
Oh wow.
Oh, a year.
So, whole year.
A whole year.
Man.
Oh, that's got me
That's
excited.
wild. Yeah. My goodness. Okay, well, I'll have to find something else to watch in the meantime. But that one is a good one. That looks like a good one. Okay,
Your turn.
so what were we talking about?
Your turn.
My turn.
Your
Awesome.
least favorite scene.
Mom brain. So most difficult. Well, there's an emotionally destroying chapter that's in my book that is very similar principle to Kate's.
Okay.
But it's not that someone gets lost, it's just like thinking back on someone that she has lost, and I don't know why, but I legitimately cried like writing that scene.
Mhm.
And I don't know, I'm not 100%. I think I know, but I can't say because it will ruin things. It is a spoiler. But anyway, it was very emotionally I was very distraught. And then there was another part that was emotionally destroying because I looped so much about depression into my book, and the fact that I went through that, it was almost not triggering, but it was just like
You're like reliving.
I lived through hell
Mm-hmm.
with this mental illness, and then coming out on the other side, and it's like I would not wish that on my worst enemy. So that was kind of difficult to write. It's more so in book 2. I've had a lot of instances where I have had to like stop and just kind of walk away because it's getting really personal and really deep, really dark. Book 2 is not cozy. Anyway,
If you thought book 1 wasn't cozy, you're in for a ride.
definitely not. I have one of my beta readers I just gave her access to my book, and she's already commenting, and she's like, I won't say, but she's just like, this is where we're going. And I'm like, yeah, girl, strap yourselves in. That's probably like emotionally, that was very hard. I still struggle. Not as much as I did in book 1 because I feel like I'm like tuning a muscle almost, but I'm getting better at it. dialogue is really difficult for me. I think because in real life, I don't like talking to people. So
Like even your
translating
editors,
that
like, would you
into
actually say this?
fictional
Yeah.
characters, I'm like, oh, okay, we have to have conversation. So I'm getting better at it. And I will realize where I have talked too much about the color of the grass. And I need to you know, I thrive on the fight scenes. Like I watched a ton of YouTube videos about like how to wield swords and what the terminology is for like slashing and jabbing and thrusting and like all this different stuff. And then
Your scenes were really, really good in that. Like that, I was
Yeah.
very impressed.
really, really
I knew
like
what
it
was
because I
happening.
played an ungodly amount of hours of video games. So that plays into it as well, I think. That's what I'm gonna say it plays into. But that's one thing I actually really enjoy writing is fight scenes. Fighting and like all the swords and the gore. And I want to make it as anatomically accurate as I possibly can because that is a pet peeve of mine is not correctly describing how an injury would affect
Right.
someone because I'm a nurse and I'm very in tune with the body and anatomy and things. And it would always drive me nuts when I would read something and they would like pierce their side and like
They're fine.
not just collapsed your lung and we're not going down. Like I don't know. You have a pneumothorax. We are gonna have to struggle at least to breathe.
Right.
Like I don't know what we're doing.
That's a little
It would
bit.
drive me out. Yeah. So those are my favorite. But my scene that I dreamed about that was the scene that I based my whole book off of. And I knew I was like, this is what I want to write about this and I want to get to this point was my ending. Was my last
The last.
chapters. Yeah, the plot twist. So
So
the
good.
plot twist was literally what was like backed the rest. I put that on my outline and then I built everything else on like how do we get
Backwards.
better. I loved writing.
I love that. I think that's such a fun way to write a book when you know the ending first.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
build. You
I
have to.
really did. I had no
build.
idea how I was gonna get there. I was like,
Same.
how
That's
do
how I
we
am for
end
book
up
2.
here?
I like have the end for book 2, and I'm like, yeah, we got to travel on a boat.
We gotta and traveling. Before we even started this episode, we were talking about how one of like collectively we all do not enjoy writing traveling. It's very not fun. So because we just want to warp and get there. So we were literally Cassie was talking about how she figured out a way that they're gonna be able to get places quicker and like using the magic system. And then we were talking about a fun way that Erin can do it. And I was like, we just got to get an animal involved that has wings and then we're solid. I don't have to do any more ground travel. I am literally in a part of writing right now where they're traveling and it's you want to make it realistic. Like they can't just instantaneously get from one side of the map to a totally other side of the map. But at the same time, like I don't really care what happens during that period of time.
Right.
I just want to get to this other place because that's where things go down. But yeah, I think that's
You know who does a really good job describing travel? This
girl. I'm so glad you're reading that book.
I am in love with her writing.
Yes.
It's so
She's
good.
so good.
It's Road of
She is so
Bones
good,
for
and
everybody who's not watching.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry,
Oh,
Road
sorry.
of
Yes.
Bones.
I'm like,
by
not everyone can see this.
Debbie
Road to
Winters. I
Bones.
forget that. you can't
Is
see
it
that.
Road to Bones or Road of Bones?
Road of Bones?
The Road of Bones.
Yeah, I was super impressed. And the second book, in my
like-
opinion, gets even better. I have not read the third yet. It just came out semi-recently. And then the fourth one comes out, I think, in February. She's an indie author.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Oh, I love her even more.
I think she just got picked up by Trad.
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, her writing is incredible. I keep saying how I can't pronounce half the words though. It's like
because it's very Viking, like Norse.
yeah. But I love it. You know, it's great.
This is the one, Cassie. I think I told you at one point. I was like, you need to read these books because they're like Norse, like centered. A lot of the words and stuff, and like the towns, and then they're like gods and stuff. The deities are all very Norse.
Yes,
Related, which would work with your Norse meets Bridgerton crossover.
I feel like we're getting more and more Viking. Like like doing.
I love that though. I love that vibe.
We're gonna be leaving the Bridgerton a little bit behind, but Yeah.
I
It's
love
been a
it.
lot of fun
I
the
love
last
that.
few
I'm
days.
so excited for it.
It's
It's
so
gonna be so
exciting.
good.
Yeah, that's so
Yay.
exciting. Oh my gosh. Well, this was super fun. So we'll have to dive into more things that we like or dislike in writing. Something else, off the top of my head, that I finally have figured out how to do appropriately without pulling my hair out is writing in the right tense.
Yeah.
Like if
Yeah.
you like I write in third person past participle tense. So that's difficult to continue that and not break off and go into like present participle tense. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, your
Had-
third, like your point of view perspective is very difficult to stay in one lane in. Like
Mhm.
I must have said so many times in my story that my character paled, but she didn't because she can't see her face losing all the blood from her skin. Like my editor is like, she can't see herself pale. You need to say something else.
Yeah.
The blood drained from her
There you
face.
go. Yeah. My
Melted
editor
blood.
picked up on that too. She like I would say it, but from someone else's, like I would say something like he was frustrated. And
Mhm.
she'd be like, "So are we switching point of views here? Because now you're saying that he's frustrated, but how could she know that unless she
Right.
can read his mind
It's fine.
telepathically?" And I'm like,
They're so right though.
Yeah.
They're so right.
yeah,
It's
which
so
is
hard.
just another reason that an editor is so helpful
Needed.
because you don't pick up on these things when you're writing through it. Yeah,
No.
absolutely. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for joining us. Make sure that you subscribe to our channel on Spotify. I almost said Shopify. Spotify.
We should fly.
Following us on all the social channels, not just for Ink and Lore, but also for our individual channels so that you can support us and also check out whenever we're all releasing things. And you can be an ARC reader and get a free copy. And we love ARC readers. So definitely do that. But we will chat again real soon. Okay. Bye, guys.